All right, Jeffy, welcome back to our podcast.
Jen, it's been a while. Thanks for having me.
Been a few weeks. Got a question for you.
What you got?
How many opticians does it take to change a light bulb?
Ugh, I'm not sure.
Is it one or two? One or two?
Two or three? Two or three?
I always feel like I'm getting fitted for a monocle when they're doing that.
I don't know why when you said obstetricians, I was thinking that was like somebody who's
that's obstetrician is gynecologist.
Is it? Didn't that what you said? How many?
I said optician. That's for
either
like
way.
optical.
I was thinking it was
for your fence.
I was thinking optimistic. I was thinking like, are you talking about like how many people are these optimistic people?
Oh, an optimist?
Uh-huh.
Like Optimus Prime?
Yes.
Not a Negatron.
Ah.
Right? That's my favorite. Oh my God. All right. One more for you, Jeffy, just because you've been gone for a while. Why did the man put his money in the freezer?
Was he trying to freeze his assets?
No, he wanted cold, hard cash. So stupid.
Should have thought of that. Why would he be trying to freeze his own assets? Dang it.
So much energy. Put in your booby rocks.
Live your best life. Keep doing you.
So much energy. Let's stick together with some high kicks. Bow, bow. All right, everybody, welcome back to this episode of So Much Energy. It's me, Jenny McKinney, and we're here with Jeff Jones.
Jen, thanks for having me.
We're back. It's been a few weeks, like we said.
It has.
I know. I was laughing today because I saw this picture of a smart car. Somebody was on the sidewalk with a smart car, and they pushed the crosswalk sign, and they were just going to drive across the walk.
You know, I started looking last week at perhaps buying a new car in the future, and I want a small car, not a smart car. I was thinking something like the size of like a Chevy Spark.
Okay.
Or I noticed those cars. I like them a lot. Or a Chevy. I think it's Chevy Trax with an X.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Spark, but a little taller.
Okay.
The guy at work keeps trying to talk me into getting a smart car. He has sent me the most ridiculous sized cars. He had sent me one picture. I think it was a smart car, but they had like 4 of them parked in one parking spot. Like a gang of like 4 of them.
Like your family could just have one parking spot.
Yeah,
but you could all meet there.
It's like a little bigger than a shopping cart.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh my gosh. And then I saw another video of so they have a water park here in Gallenberg called Anakista.
Okay.
And it's like a higher up roller coaster. Like it's like you go there and it feels like you're in a whole different town, like its own town, right?
Okay.
So from what I could tell, this video was from the inside of a restaurant. You know when you have the back door where like employees will go out the back door to like take trash to the dumpster, or like they'll go outside if there's a supply cabinet and then come back in that side door?
Yep.
It looks like they had left the door open.
I think I've seen this video.
And a bear came in.
Yep. And was inside the building.
Inside the building.
Back in.
And she came around, the worker girl came around the corner, and I don't know if she had like a hot pot of beans or hot pot of something.
Yeah. I think she was emptying the fryer grease.
Oh, it looked hot.
That's what I took from it.
Because when she came back, she had dropped it and it splattered, and I think it got on her arm.
Yeah, because
But
I remember
the
at the end
bear
of the video.
almost snagged her.
Yeah, you think the bear like got her arm or her shoulder? It looked like it smacked her.
Yeah.
But then I remember somebody in the background of the video or the lady said something about getting burned, and then I realized what she was carrying.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so a bear
video.
was just standing there, and then when she came back in from outside, the bear ran at her, and then she threw the pot down and then was running and screaming. But thank goodness, I mean, that thing could have just slapped her and killed her right there. I mean, that was so scary.
The fact that you just go and you take something out at work and you turn around and come back in, and coming out the door is a full-grown grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna vote no.
No joke. No joking.
Yeah. She probably anakistaed in her pants.
Yeah. I would not. I didn't realize that's where that was at. I wouldn't have handled it well if it was a squirrel coming out.
Yeah. I know. We were on a hike one time, and there was some like rustling in the leaves, and I about jumped across because it was a mouse, and I don't do mice. I was like, look, if that was a chipmunk, okay, squirrel, rabbit, whatever, but no.
Mice, I don't know. I feel like people freak out about mice because they're just gross.
Yeah, they're just rodent-y.
But I've watched videos where people are just like sitting at a park reading a book, and then all of a sudden a squirrel, and they start talking to them, and the squirrel comes up, takes food out of their hands. They're just petting it, palling around. I would not have gotten that far in the relationship with the squirrel.
No.
If a squirrel moves towards me, I would have hopped up, and then I would have instantly tossed something at it to get it out of my vicinity.
Yeah.
I just don't trust wildlife.
Well, I saw another video too where the one guy, he said if a squirrel runs up to you and like is on you, like at your house, they need help. Like it might be a baby and the mom has not come back, and they're coming to a human like, hey, I need some food.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
we have the power line outside the house here, and the squirrels will run up the power line and they chewed the transformer, which does not end well because the next door neighbor and I we always lose power because it kills it, right?
Oh yeah,
it blows it, and then it kills the squirrel, which is terrible. And then like Mr. Bill came out the one time and he's like, hey, do you want to like put a hole in the backyard? He was just wanting to respect if I wanted to bury it. And he's like, but I got a bag right here. And I was like, oh, we can put it in the bag. And he's like, okay, he's like, you hold the bag and I'll get the squirrel. And I said, okay. So when he picked it up, he was like, scared the crap out of me. Almost made me pee my pants because he acted like he was getting electrocuted from the squirrel. Scared me.
What is okay? Because I've even seen people that are like have befriended a deer that's like outside their home,
yeah.
And then the deer comes back with like 8 little deerlings, fawns. And we'll bring them back to show the human. And I've even watched those videos, and I thought I wouldn't have got to that point in the relationship with that deer.
Yeah.
But like, what's an animal that if it came up to you, you would be like friendly, like you would almost just want to pick it up and hug it? I can't think of one animal that's out in the wild that I would trust doing that with. Even a deer. Like I've been camping and we've had deer just come through our campsite, and I back up and get out of there because I'm afraid it's going to just start kicking shit around and tearing stuff up. I've also like walked damn near into the ass end of a moose. That's happened like 3 times.
Oh,
hiking.
shoot.
Like where I've come face to face with a moose, and like at no point am I just like, oh, I should pet this moose. Oh, I should pet this deer. Like kind of like you with the mouse. I just like no animal in the wild, even if a rabbit, if I walked out my back door and a rabbit came up to me, it's just a rabbit. But at the same time, like the whole time I'm anticipating it's going to just lurch at me, jump up, start nibbling on my face.
Yeah, right. I know. That is crazy.
No, man. I don't think there's any animal in the wild that I could just become buddy with.
We were listening to Mitch Hedberg on the way back. We had a road trip this past weekend from Ohio, and we're listening to Mitch Hedberg, and he was talking about how he wanted to take a koala bear in and just hug it.
No, koala bears are actually pretty fierce, and they got crazy nails.
I know. Same thing with sloths.
Sloths, that was one that happened. These people were going down a zip line.
Yeah.
And then I was a video I'd watched, and the dad was like, don't touch the brakes no matter what. And the kid's like, I won't, Dad. And they jump off the platform together. Well, then all of a sudden the kid starts hitting the brake. Like you're talking 2-3 minutes into this zip line run.
Shoot.
And just out in the middle of nowhere, there was a sloth hanging from the zip line. And the dad was trying to get the sloth down. But at the same time, the sloth would have fell like 150 feet.
Yeah.
But the dad was freaked out the whole time that somebody else ziplining was going to just
down.
come flying up behind him.
Oh my God. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. The video ended. I have no idea how the sloth got off of the line. It was moving very slowly.
And where did it come from?
That's what the dad kept asking the kid, because the dad was looking around. There were no trees like within reach
crazy.
of it. And for that sloth to have gotten on there and get that far out into the middle of nowhere, like, I don't know. It looked like it would have taken that sloth about 2 hours at his speed.
What? I know some people that work like that.
I've watched people try to move sloths out of the road. Oh, this is a sad road tale. Yesterday, the son and I were going to a restaurant next town over, and I'm driving and I see a little painter turtle, little guy, crossing the road. And I'm like, oh, we got to go back and get him. I go, here, I'm going to pull in this driveway, hop out, and ka-ching! Truck hit him that quick. Yep. While I was trying to tell him to hop out, like we're talking seconds.
Yeah.
I heard it, and I looked over and seen the turtle just rolling on the road. I'm like, no, never mind, buddy. He's like, why? I can hop out. I go, no, that truck just hit it. It's all right. It's over. Bummed me out. I was bummed out for a long time after.
That's terrible, especially when you're trying to do something and...
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I even looked back and was like, could I have turned around quicker? No, I took the first driveway.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And you had the whole road like that. He didn't have to do that.
No.
You know?
No. He just didn't bother to even swerve. Maybe he wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Yeah. Terrible. Yeah, no, I don't have any animal. When we were in Montana, I did see mule deer. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And it was huge.
Yeah, they're gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the biggest thing. You know when in fairy tales when things are 10 times bigger than what it really seems like it should be? That's how this thing felt. It felt majestic.
Oh yeah, that's how I felt about the moose. The moose was by far the biggest animal. I always assumed as a kid, you're just like, it's like a horse with antlers.
Yeah.
These things are 3 times the size of a horse.
Yeah.
Like the top of its back was I'm at 5'7". It was probably 8 feet.
Yeah.
To its
have
back.
You seen one swim?
Yeah, that blew me.
That
Did I tell you about that before?
I don't think so.
Oh, we were on Isle Royal and we just set up camp and we walked down to the water and we're pumping water out for cooking, and we were washing up. And straight across the lake from us, there was 2 moose. And my buddy Jay and I were watching them. And all of a sudden they started walking into the water. And then we were even commenting maybe I didn't realize moose like the water.
Yeah.
And then they just kept walking and we're like, oh my God, do they have a suicide pact? What's happening?
All right.
And these moose swam all the way across the water with just their heads and their antlers are all that come out of the water.
Yep.
And they both swam next to each other across this whole lake and then just walked out and walked right up into the woods.
Yeah.
Blew me away.
Same. We were crossing the bridge over in Wyoming, and we looked over, and there was a moose swimming in the river, that the bridge was going over. You just saw the head and the antlers, and I was like, "Oh my God, is it drowning?" Because you would never think something that big could swim, in quotes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this one they were doing the butterfly stroke. No, I'm just saying that. I'm sorry. I was trying to.
Their legs move.
No, but in South Dakota, I was really blown away. We had seen a number of bison.
Oh yeah.
And I'd pulled up next. We were in a truck, Dad's truck.
Yeah.
And to scare Jody, who I was with, I pulled up right next to this bison.
Yeah.
And its eyeball, it's just that the bison's eyeball was about the size of the truck window.
Oh my God.
And I was laughing, but I didn't think about it till after. Had that bison just turned its head, it probably would have rolled our truck over.
Yeah, right.
I was just at an S10 or the Ford Splash.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. When we were in Wyoming, we were reading a pamphlet. We had our sliding door open in a minivan, and we're just taking pictures, and Josh was out there taking pictures, and I'm reading the pamphlet, and it says bison can jump I could be making it's. I swear it said 6 feet, but I don't think so. I don't know. It was pretty intense. And then they can run 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, like you're not gonna stop a charging bison.
No.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh.
Also on that same trip in South Dakota, Montana, right around there, I was really surprised at how big just even any like antelope, gazelle.
Yeah.
Like, you see just a bunch of gazelle hauling ass through a field.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, that looks fun. Those things are bigger than deer. I assumed they were like the size of a deer.
Oh,
They're like
yeah.
2-3 times the size of a deer.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Like,
And their antlers just go. It's just straight up and back,
they
right?
spiral out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's insane looking. But when you see like a whole bunch of them just hauling ass through a field, you're like, oh, that looks like fun. But then when you see them up close, you're like, whoa. Whoa. That's like the size of a normal horse.
Yeah.
A lot skinnier. I mean, but
Yeah.
I always assumed a lot of those gazelle, antelope, I assume a lot of them are the size of just a deer because we see deer all the time.
Yeah.
No. Deer
No.
are small compared to most of these
Shoot.
animals.
Yeah. We had 3 elephants here at the Knoxville Zoo, and one time we just packed sandwiches and hung out there for a few hours and just watched them like play around. But they
Yep.
were so massive. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
just they were saying the one was younger, and I was like, that thing is so huge.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah.
Nature's crazy. It is.
Yeah. And it's so different too. Like when you see things on TV and you're like, oh, that's pretty crazy. But like when you see it in person and like, it's almost, you feel the energy of it.
I will
Yeah.
say it's definitely, that's true, because you can tell even just being in the vicinity of an animal, if it's scared, if it's
Right.
angry, if it's hostile, like you know right away. And I feel like that's because of its energy, not because it's doing anything, just its energy.
Yeah. Have you ever been camping or anything and had something come up on the tent or anything? Like,
Oh yeah, I've had things come up and sniff the side of the tent, literally from my computer screen to where I am,
right.
and just feel it like.
Do you know
just
what it
sniff
was?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
it's probably better you didn't.
It's because we were on an island where there was a lot of weird animals that we don't normally encounter.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to just get out and be like, get out of here, because I didn't know where
Right.
we were at. Like I said, there's moose, there's wolf,
Yeah.
there's occasional bears, but there's a lot of foxes. They don't really have the goofy animals that I assumed, like, oh, is that a possum? Is that a raccoon? Those animals aren't there. So whatever it was, sniffing the tent, I didn't want no part of that.
Yeah.
It probably
Could you
was
tell,
a
like, was
fox.
it up high? Was it
No,
big?
it was
like,
right low. Like it was either I was down where my head is, and you could see the tent, the imprint of the tent
Oh,
being
no!
pushed in by its snout. I assume it was a fox,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know. But out there also, you're told that like if you do see fox, don't give them food, don't mess with them. A lot of them are skittish. I just didn't know if it was a wild dog or a coyote.
Yeah,
or
right.
A wolf.
Not only that, the only thing between you and that animal is a piece of plastic.
Yeah, piece of spandex or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
You know, like
Oh my
yeah, that's
God.
not.
No.
No,
That's-
I don't mess with nature like that.
Yeah.
I love seeing it from a distance, a safe distance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you will not find me one of those people that are like, "Oh, Jeff got eaten by a bear because he wanted to go get a selfie with it."
Yeah.
That is not me. If I get
No.
eaten by a bear, it's because that bear came at me and I just couldn't run fast enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. What if it was Sasquatch?
You know,
Could
now
have
that
been.
you say that,
Could have been Sasquatch sniffing
if there was
up on
any
you.
time or any place that I could have found a Bigfoot, it would have been on that trip.
For real.
God.
Sasquatch. Maybe it was down low. Maybe it was
He
a
wouldn't
baby.
have been, his head wouldn't have been at the ground. A baby Sasquatch.
Yeah.
My luck, that's what it is. I come out of the tent and I see a 4-foot tall Sasquatch and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's so, bam. That's when the rest of his herd jumps in. Because I got
And then
between
you're taken off to another dimension.
dimension. That's all I need. End up in the Squatch realm.
And then you're like, all those other people that are over there, they're like, look, man, they never believed us.
I was
And
going to
then-
say, and then no, that's what would happen. I would eventually escape after they're done sexing me up or whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with humans, but that I get free. Now one person would believe me.
Right.
And they'd
And
be
then
like,
next thing
yeah,
you know,
what
they're like-
proof do you have? I'd be like, I have been by numerous Sasquatch. Like, yeah, okay, prove it.
Right. No.
You know, I can't help it. A whole harem of female Sasquatch took me, used me as their toy, and then tossed me aside like yesterday's boot. I only assume that's what would happen.
What would the name of your movie be? Like, you know how it's like Fire in the Sky? What would your movie be?
Fire in this guy. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's too much. Yeah.
Sass Snatch?
Nature's Last Call with Jeff Jones?
I know. I don't know. I don't think anything good would come of that.
Don't answer the nature call.
Oh.
Oh man. Yeah, we're gonna have to think about a title for your book, your movie. Who would you have played you?
No.
McLovin?
I don't know. Probably Matthew McConaughey.
Oh no, you probably have Kip from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh.
Oh, look at this hey there, little fella. I guess you could say it's pretty serious, you know, us meeting here.
Right. Believe it or not, I'm actually dating Sasquatch.
Tuts, it's me, Jenny McKinney. I'm here to ask, what is a goal versus an intention? So to me, when you have a goal, you place results outside of you. But when you have an intention, you place results inside of you. So you have the control of the intention. I'm working on intentions with my actions. What's my intention? I want to work with 11 new people in the next 3 weeks for intuitive or mediumship readings and or healing sessions. So, are you feeling lost without your special person in your life? Do you feel stuck and need some momentum? How about some clarity? We could all use some clarity. Or if you need to feel calm because your nerves and anxiety are at its wit's end. This is the perfect time to connect. You can get a 30-minute intuitive reading for just $39 or hear from your loved ones from the other side with a 30-minute mediumship session for only $39. Want more? Try a 50 to 60-minute intuitive mediumship reading and a block clearing session for only $69. And guess what? The first 3 people to book their session with me will receive a personalized Booby Rock gift bag. I'm so excited for that. So let's high kick into the rest of this year and get things cleared out for you. Woohoo! Book your session now and start your journey to clarity and peace. Contact me through my website, jenny-mckinney.com. Sessions are on there under the Sessions tab. So get in there, be one of the first 3 people, and let's make it happen. You know what else is really crazy here? We were driving, where were we driving? Not too far from here. And there was a sign for wild boar. It was like, watch out for wild boar. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's a thing? What's
At
the
least
hell?
they put up signs. Wild boars, like, people don't, like, they're all over.
Yeah.
Like, even around here where we live. Like,
That's
when we
crazy.
were, you remember when we were, I don't know if you never went, but we had to go to the Boys and Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
And when they moved it to that old camp,
Oh, yeah.
we had to, like, I was a volunteer there by that point, but we had to tell all the people and notify the kids and their parents that, look, there are wild boar out in the woods. Like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I've never seen one, but, like, I've also heard you don't want to.
Yeah, no.
Like, they'll attack.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's
they're
crazy.
just as, they're
Yeah,
hungry.
they're mean.
Yeah, they're mean, and if they're attacking, it's because they're hungry. And if they're attacking, you're probably not going to win
Yeah.
unless you got a weapon.
Yeah, I think too, it's a lot of pressure, you know what I mean? Because and they'll knock you like off your feet.
Oh yeah,
You know
that's
what I
it.
mean?
Once you're down at their level, you end up getting gored because they got little
Yeah.
tusks and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not good.
I mean, what's the name? Timon and Pumbaa? Like that's
Yeah.
a lie.
Pumbaa. It's well, you're not supposed to be basing all your nature experience off the Lion King.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
bad. Whew.
Hakuna
Yeah.
Matata.
Right? It means no worries,
It means
but
no worries.
but be smart. Don't be
Right.
fucking bears
It's
out
also
there.
a wild boar that's telling you that, and a
Yeah.
lion,
Yeah.
and
Hello.
what's Timon? Prairie
Oh.
dog, deer.
know.
Oh, not a deer. Deer cat.
Oh,
Meerkat.
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 Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
he is.
Oh,
Hakuna
man.
Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Yeah. Well,
Ugh.
do you have anything else you want to add?
No, but trying to buy a house, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Just
That's-
trying to just buy a house. I don't know.
It's too much.
Yeah, we've been dealing with this since the end of March when I got back from California.
Yeah.
We have found a house. We have gotten approved for the house. It's just a ridiculous process.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous process.
Yeah, when we bought our house, it was at Christmas time, and we had to have a lockdown on all of our money. Like
That's-
we couldn't spend money in or out for the whole week of Christmas.
That's what we have going on now,
Mm-hmm.
except that was also going on last week. But then the people were out of town on the day of our closing, so the
Yeah.
closing date got moved to this week, and that's what I'm dealing with this week.
And you're like, look, people, we need to eat.
Yeah.
Like bills need to get paid. Hello.
Not to mention, you know what sucks? And I keep getting phone calls about this. They're like, $51 came out of your account. So I have to go and look. And I'm like, yeah, that's for this. It's set up for auto pay.
Right.
Well, you can't do that. Well, it's on auto pay. I
Yeah.
still have to pay bills. That's like we went round and round because we ended up being here longer than we anticipated. So I still had to, pay all the bills, make a car payment. I still had to pay all that stuff.
Right.
I can't help it. The stupid closing date got moved. I already dealt with their loop, jumping through their hoops
Yeah.
for
right.
like the 2 weeks, and now I
Yeah.
got to deal with it again.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
nightmare.
crazy. Yeah.
It's just a nightmare. I wish I
Yeah.
never would have started the process. Honestly.
Does not make it very easy at all.
No, I wish I would not have started this house buying process.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not good.
Not good. Well,
But it's also part of it is that the lender and the realtor that we're dealing with, it doesn't help that every time I turn around, they're making mistakes on paperwork. Like one
like,
guy,
who's checking this?
one guy put, like, I ain't gonna lie, we put in 8 offers on houses before we got this far in the process
Yeah.
of this house.
Yeah.
But there were offers in before that we didn't get because we found out he put in the wrong amount.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah. You
You
can't
know?
just be putting a
like,
what
yeah,
is it?
he
5-digit number instead of 6?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's say like we were putting in an offer, say it was 250. He offered 25,000. You know, like, yeah, you missed a zero, but that's still a difference of like 225,000. Yeah.
Right.
And then he gets a call from their realtor that are like, really? You have people that are offering this? And he's like, no. And then you look back at the paperwork. Well, that's what you put there, bro. Yeah. Then we
Come on,
had
man.
one guy, we had one guy get off the phone with my wife and then went to text somebody, hey, this crazy lady, blah, blah, blah. He sent it to her. Yep. And it's just like, again,
that is not
more
not good
reasons why
business
I wish
practice.
I would not have started this process.
right.
It's
Not good.
horrible. It's not going good. And it's
Yeah.
nothing on our end. It is zero to do with our end. And the only
Yeah.
reason we even decided to buy a house was because we were looking to rent and we have really good credit and enough money in the bank for a down payment on a house.
Right.
So we were like, yeah, instead of renting, we'll just buy a house.
Yeah.
And that's where I went wrong.
Yeah.
I should have just rented a house.
Yeah.
I'd have already been living in it by this point, and we're only moving because we have to, because of other circumstances beyond our control.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, it is
Man.
what it is.
Well, I mean, could be worse. You could be stuck over with a Bigfoot.
Right? Being
Yeah.
taken advantage of sexually
are.
and financially.
You are now too, so, but it's just different. You're in this realm.
Our realtor and our lender, they look like they could be twin brothers, and they both look like they could be Bigfoot.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So you have two Sasquatches working on your home paperwork?
pretty much. Pretty much.
Good. That's pretty neat.
But yeah, between them, they got about as much sense as a sloth.
Yeah. Being on a zip line, coming out of nowhere. Maybe
You
that
know?
thing was just. Do you think a portal opened up and it just showed up on that zip line?
I don't know. I don't even know. And what's crazy is that I put in 3 offers on houses. I wasn't even in this state.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the houses. I'm
Yeah.
just basing it off of a buddy, my wife, and our realtor.
Yep.
And they were like, this has everything you want. Like, all right, put in the offer. I put in 3 offers when I was in Buffalo, New York. I wasn't even here.
Yeah.
This house, we're like literally 3 or 4 days from closing on it. And there's still like issues that they have that they're finding in their paperwork.
Yeah.
And like this house, I didn't even see until after the inspection. And I had to go there to put up a handrail on the front porch because it got red flagged in the inspection. And when because I was out of town when this house got this far. But that was the first time when I went there to put a handrail in because the people live out of state.
Yeah.
So they couldn't put the handrail up. So they asked, like, would you mind? I'm like, no, not at all. I'll go put that up. Plus, then I can see the house.
Right.
Yeah, I was already to the inspection point before I even got to walk around the inside of this house.
Shoot.
It looked good in pictures. What can you do?
Keep on trucking.
Right? That's all I can do.
Yeah. Find a place that you vibe with.
Yeah, we have. We found like 3 or 4 towns that we really vibe with a lot more. Believe it or not, than we vibe out here.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's hard too when you are living in a spot that you don't vibe with, and then when you get to the spot you do, it's almost like everything just starts working out because that's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, when the wife and kids were looking at houses and I was out of town, I kept hearing about how they hated having to come back to this house
Oh.
after looking at all these other houses, not just the houses, but they're all in neighborhoods and areas that we would love to live.
Yeah, just like where you could walk and see people and talk and get to
Coffee
things
shops
close
and skate parks and record
Yeah.
stores and just so much, like all within 1 mile of the house.
Yeah.
And then you come back here where you're like 20 miles from a gas station,
Yeah.
20 miles from getting milk.
Right. You're like, hey, we need bread. Okay, I'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll get it tomorrow on my way home.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst is when you do, like, you're in the middle, like this happens occasionally, especially around holidays. You're making a recipe or you're making something and you're like, oh my God, I need baking powder, not baking soda. So now I got to see who's home in this town to get some baking soda or powder from.
Yeah.
Or you just say F it and you drive a half hour to Meyer, half hour back home after dealing with Meyer.
Oh, I do love Meyer.
I love Meyer too, but it's just
not like that.
it's
Do you
a
know if
shit
they
show.
had a car area, you could buy a Meyer tire?
Do they? Oh, if they did. I thought you
If
said
they
they
did.
do.
Yeah. No, I made that joke up on our road trip. I like to do jokes on that, and Josh just looks out the window because he's disgusted.
Well, yeah. Because Josh would like to Meyer fire you.
All right, Jeffy, you got anything else for this week?
Nah, that was about it. Hopefully I got some better news next week about a house.
If you decide to join us.
It's not that I didn't want to join you. It was that I totally forgot to take my laptop last time I went out of town.
No, that's okay.
That was 100% on me. And I was going to call and zoom in, but I don't like the way it sounds on a telephone.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
I
just
get it.
didn't.
Yeah, that's okay. I get it. I get it.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right, Jeffy. Well, your Sasquatch and your sloth friends, stay with it out there.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Yeah. What does Casey Kasem say? Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
I was gonna say, open this thing up. I'm not dead.
No, you're so dumb.
If Casey Kasem is saying anything, it's probably, hey, I can't breathe down here.
Yeah. Hey, quit playing my songs on repeat. Stupid. All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, we'll see you
Okay.
later.